What's up, everybody? Benny versus the Penny is here. I'm David Gascon. Thanks for joining us in this fine Friday afternoon. A lot to get to. Week number 8 is here. And Ben, without further ado, it's not baseball season anymore.
Yeah, listen, I got to tell you, Gascon, I don't know if you can even hear me right now, but I love seeing your bookcase. And are you like the guy that is from the, what is it, Omniverse or Faceverse or whatever? I like the bookcase. Is there Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on the bookcase? Do we have that behind you?
I don't know, but what we do have, we have I don't have a lot of things in this bookcase, but what I do have is I have an official Marconi Award that was given to me.
What does it say? Montana? Is that from Tammy in Montana?
This is an official Marconi Award.
Marconi Award.
It's an official one.
What does it say? Lap dance on there? Did you have to give a lap dance to get that? Is that
I do all kinds of things, Never mind the moonlighting. Anyways,
and those books have never been opened behind you. That's
not true.
You never opened those books.
There's a book there that you probably appreciate. It's called League of Denial that you probably appreciate.
League of Denial. Well, I got to tell you, I know we'll get to the games, but I think it's been a great week for those of us that have been able to expose frauds. In life, when you are able to expose people for being phony, that's one of the great mitzvahs in life, and we had a lot of that this week. I think you'd agree, right?
Yeah, we did. We had a segment. Actually, not a segment. Your entire bit was ripped off. We'll just say that. How about that?
Well, no, I'm not talking about that. No. I'm talking about mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the phoniest of them all? Because let's not forget, this guy, this tough guy right over there wearing that Dodger hat with his Marconi Award. He's got a little sweat there. He came from the gym. This guy right there, okay, for the entire season, every Cardinals game, buzz, buzz, ring, ring, about the little fella, Alligator Arms Murray. Oh, he's so good. And then he goes out there, takes a ride on the Vomit Comet in Thursday Night Football, and radio silence. I actually said in my monologue last night, did the cell tower go down? Did the cell tower go down?
Such a fucking
defend one of the worst plays we've seen in the NFL since Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl when Seattle right there at the goal line in that stadium to win the game. And interception, you lose to the Patriots. Similar situation there. Kyler Murray, what a dum-dum. What a dum-dum. And bye-bye to the MVP. Bye-bye. Wave goodbye, Gascon. Wave goodbye to the MVP. Hey, that 17-0 season, bye-bye. Wave bye-bye. It's over. Dunskies. Yeah. I'm still waiting for the text pointing out how bad Kyler Murray was on that final play. Why, God. Horrible. He should be fine.
I know that you haven't been around the game of football for a long time. You didn't play it competitively as a teenager or as a young adult.
Well,
but I've never seen a quarterback throw a back shoulder fade to a wide receiver that was stock blocking 5 yards down the field. That's just me. Yeah. I don't know about you. Maybe that's something you got from Tecmo Bowl, maybe Tecmo Bowl 2, Super Tecmo Bowl, excuse me. But I've never seen that in a professional football game. Maybe not NFL Europe, not the XFL, not the European League of Football, and certainly not the National Football League. Not an all-pro wide receiver, a former all-pro, and AJ Green was stock blocking 5 yards down the field in the end zone.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think there was anybody there in the United States that thought the Arizona Cardinals were going 17-0. What I do know is that despite the fact they lost Thursday night, they have the best record in the NFC West. Check. They have the overall head-to-head matchup against the Rams owned. Check. Kyler Murray has vastly outplayed Matthew Stafford this season. Check. So he is still on course to win the league MVP this year.
What kind of crack are you smoking before this? What do we got? What brand is it? Is it Mega? All right. So first of all, riddle me this here. What is the number one job of the quarterback? What is the number one job? Do you know what the number one job is? I'll educate you a little bit.
To lead.
To lead in the huddle, to make sure the players know exactly what they're supposed to do. That's your job as the quarterback, communication. Kyler Murray, I know he's a little guy, and maybe they didn't hear him because he's lower than everyone else in the huddle and all that. So maybe the players, A.J. Green, didn't hear him. But I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to A.J. Green, a 7-time Pro Bowl player who has a more decorated career than the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, really?
And I know because he drives, the short bus and all that, the struggle bus, the short struggle bus there. You want to give the little fella the benefit of the doubt. But again, the quarterback and the receiver have to be on the same page. That is on the quarterback. The quarterback is supposed to make sure the players know what they're doing. If there's any doubt, then that is on the quarterback. So that is clearly a mess up by Kyler Murray. And guys like you're part of the media elites, Gascon, that defend this guy. It's a joke. It's embarrassing.
There's a reason why A.J. Green's not in Cincinnati anymore, and he hasn't been a viable threat as a wide receiver for a handful of years. Part of it's because he's been injured, and so when you're not playing in games, you have no idea what's going on in terms of just the overall terminology, obviously the philosophy, and then, of course, being with a new organization, things are drastically different. So don't give me this BS excuse that A.J. Green couldn't hear anything. This game was in Arizona. It wasn't at Lambeau Field. I mean,
I agree with you. No. I agree. Stop. I agree. What happened here is Kyler didn't remember to tell A.J. what to do. So, again, I agree with you. If Kyler had told him, A.J. would have listened. The Cardinals went to training camp in mid-July. They've been together for almost 100 days. And you're telling me that Kyler can't communicate with A.J. Green? My God. Are we just going to do a Kyler Murray model? Are we going to get to the games? What are we doing here?
Well, I mean,
you're on the wrong side of history, Gascon. You're on the wrong side of history. All right, there you see the wonderful, glorious selections.
It's not good. I mean, you go 6-7 in week 7.
Wait a
minute,
now. The brown is the white. The ones I got right, or the green? Because I'm trying to. Your math is wrong on that. The Browns covered the spread.
And did you take the Browns? I thought you took the Broncos.
No, I took the Browns in that game. Wow. Now I have to question the integrity of Benny.
Because there's voter integrity being challenged across the United States, so nothing wrong with that. But
wow,
yeah, this is where we're at. I don't.
Queen Roxanne writes in, points out that fake awards from Montana mean nothing. You can give him shit for that. Well, I did give him crapola for that. Queen Roxanne, I did. Don't worry about that. But many people in the chat agree. Roscoe the Parrot said Cardinals-Packers game was a fix. There you go. Murray threw the interception at the end of the game because of the fix being in. Well, actually, the officials tried to help out Roscoe. The Cardinals, if you saw the Aaron Jones touchdown, he got in the end zone. There was no clear replay saying he didn't get in the end zone. With 4:45 to go in the game, they took the touchdown off the board, giving Arizona the opportunity for Kyler to fatten up some garbage time stats because he threw the interception at the end of the game. So empty passing yards if the drive does not result in a touchdown.
And it's clearly obvious that he was on his backside before the ball crossed the plane of the goal line. Now, I don't know if many of your toothless sycophants know that, but I mean, that's
the Warrior
the
Raider A's fan. Matt, the Warrior Raider A's fan, says throwing a fade is a dumb play call there. Alligator arms. Murray should have audibled that crappy play to something else. Well, exactly.
Well,
that's what the greats do. Audible.
Yeah. Let me just think about that. One guy is a social media pundit, I guess, in the National Football League. Another was a coach or a quarterback. So I think I'll rely on the professionals here on this.
That is
so it's not like Kyler. It's not like Kyler Murray threw a fade into the back pylon of the end zone on a lob jump ball. That's completely different. It wasn't a 50-50 ball. It was a line drive pass to the back of his shoulder. That's the purpose of a back shoulder fade. Is that only one guy should be able to make that catch, and it's the offensive player, not the defensive player. So
tell me you're a douche canoe without telling me you're a douche canoe. David Gascon right there. I'm a coach player.
You can follow me on Twitter at Ben Maller. That's douche canoe 101.
All right, we got to get to the games. My God, we've wasted 10 minutes on Kyler Murray. My God, you're wrong, Gascon. You are such a little fan. I thought you were a Bronco fan. But really you like the little fella.
I just don't get it. I don't know where we got to this point.
I don't get it either.
How
could he screw that up? That game that was right there. He lost to the practice squad. How embarrassing!
Yeah,
you lost to the
multi-time MVP of the National Football League and a Super Bowl champion. He lost them. Yeah, that's It's not like he lost.
The guy that picked him off, Gascon, was on Arizona's practice squad.
He's in the National Football League. Did you see what happened with Tennessee? Tennessee last week shut down Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes with practice squad guys in their secondary. So don't give me that crap. They limited Mahomes to 3 points.
You've got a shovel and you're digging a bigger hole. Keep going, Gascon. Keep going. Don't stop. All right. Anyway, let's get to it.
Okay.
Miami at Buffalo. The first game on the board. You see the records right there. It's on CBS with Andrew Catalan and James Lofton. The Bills, a massive 14-point favorite. They opened up at 11.5 at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo. I'm going to take the Dolphins in this game. I love getting that many points. Now, Miami sucks, and in many of the statistics, they're the worst team in the NFL. The Bills beat them like a drum, 35-0 back in week 2. So you would assume this is a bit of a revenge spot. The Finns have been more competitive. Tua Tagovailoa's thrown some terrible interceptions, but the last couple of weeks, he's the 12th ranked quarterback in the NFL. So he is overall better than he's been. And you don't typically, if you look at the history of the NFL, you don't typically blow out the same divisional opponent twice in one season, even though this is a road game for Miami. Anytime you get over a touchdown in a divisional game, you take that. And the Dolphins do have good defensive back, Xavier Howard and Byron Jones. So because all they need is like an interception or two, a special teams play to go their way. They cover the spread. Bills 34, Dolphins 23, the final.
Penny's going with the Bills in this one.
All right, next up, Carolina at Atlanta. We have to rush through some games because somebody spent 10 minutes defending a guy that threw a game-breaking interception. Yeah, a clown horn for sure. All right, Carolina at Atlanta on Fox. Kevin Kugler and Mark Sanchez have the call. And the Falcons, a 3-point favorite in this game. It'll be sunny, 63. It's a dome, Mercedes-Benz Stadium there in Georgia. And I am taking, voila, the Falcons. I love betting against Sam Darnold. It's my new thing. I made a mistake last week. I will not make that mistake again. Sam Darnold is the guy we thought he was. He is the Jets version. He has settled in to puke. All right, mass-produced puke is where Sam Darnold is at this point. The last 4 weeks, Sam Darnold is the NFL's 39th ranked quarterback. There's only 32 teams. He's even worse than a bunch of backups. He is a one-man wrecking crew for his own team. And Carolina, outside of the quarterback's not that bad, but the quarterback destroys them. And the Falcons on the other side, I'm not saying Atlanta's good. They've won 3 of 4, and they're enjoying the hostess schedule. Lot of cupcakes, and they've got road games coming up with the Saints division and Cowboys up next, which might not be that hard if Dak Prescott's not playing. But this is a must-win game. Atlanta can get to over 500. You understand that the Falcons have not been above 500 in a season since 2017. That's a few years ago, and that's back when the Astros were still banging on trash cans and nobody knew about it. And just feed Kyle Pitts the ball and just wait for Sam Darnold to give the ball away. Falcons 27, Panthers 20.
Penny's also going with Atlanta in this one. Go with the Dirty Bird.
Yeah. Well, I also want to point out this is one of my picks of the week. So I do have, that's how much I like Atlanta here, betting against Sam Darnold. So this is one of my 5-star picks of the week, Carolina and Atlanta, and I am taking the Falcons. Let the record show. Let the record show there for sure. All right, next up, we have Philadelphia at Detroit. The Eagles, a 3-point favorite in this game. It's on Fox. Friend of the Maller Militia, Kenny Albert, and Jonathan Vilma, not a friend of the Maller Militia, but they have the call at Ford Field, another dome, but it's been in the 50s. It's fall weather in Michigan. I will take the Birds. I'm taking the Eagles again. I'm a glutton for punishment. The Lions, here's my theory on this. So the Lions pulled out everything from the old bag o' tricks last week to try to get Jared Goff a win against his old team, to beat their old nemesis, their old buddy Matthew Stafford. So the term here, and you're familiar with this, Gascon, because you just did it with Kyler Murray, is shoot your wad, right? So Detroit shot their wad. I expect them to go back and have a very lethargic performance this week. It's not going to be onward and upward this week for the Lions, so I expect this to be a downer. But the Lions overall have been a good bet. Overall, they're 4-3, so you've won money on them, despite being 0-7 outright, the overall record straight up. But against the spread, they have a winning record. And if the 53 teams since the merger to start 0-7, they're just the third team that has had a winning record while against the spread while 0-7. 1977 Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the 2017 49ers are the others. Now, I'm betting on the Eagles. I don't like Jalen Hurts. I'm not a fan of his game here. I think he's too inconsistent for me. He's actually had 3 consecutive starts completing less than 60% of his passes. That is tied with Zach Wilson for the longest streak of suckage for any starting quarterback this season. Now, I'm on the side of the wise guys, Gascon. The wise guys, the sharps, they call them in Vegas and gambling circles. They're betting on the Eagles. I generally hate road favorites. I try to find a reason to bet underdogs here. But Philadelphia is the more talented team. The Lions are going to be back in the dungeon. Philly has the motivational edge. Because I told you what happened with the Lions, but also the Eagles were really blown off the field last week by the Raiders. They were down 30-7 in the start of the fourth quarter. They scored a couple garbage time touchdowns, so it didn't look as bad as it was. Jalen Hurts has met his equal. He should be able to outperform Jared Goff. So I'm going with Philadelphia. The Eagles have been able to beat bad teams like the Falcons and the Panthers. Here's another softie. Take advantage of the softie. It's very chewable. It's like a chewable piece of medicine for a kid. Eagles 30. Lions 17.
Penny's going with Detroit in this one. Now, Ben, unlike the Maller Militia, Detroit, despite the fact they shot their wad last week, they can reload rather quickly. It's not in a 30-second.
Oh, is that right?
Session, yes.
Oh, you got jokes. Is that you have another award for that over there, Mr. Reload? Is that on your shelf back there behind? No,
might not now. No.
Yeah, I can't see the shelf right now. So
no.
All right. Yeah. What are they saying in the chat?
Nothing good. I'm surprised half of them can spell. Wait, you just started bitching and moaning about hurrying the hell up, and now all of a sudden you want to take your time to kind of shuffle through the dreck?
You took 10 minutes to sit there and preach about your little guy, and it was so embarrassing. Do you feel embarrassed here? I feel like you should wash your mouth out with soap and water right now.
I know how to watch a football game and actually how to evaluate it properly, as opposed to just looking at the low hanging fruit and trolling everybody in the media markets of Houston and Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, I do know that good coaches. I know you said you coached. You probably weren't a good coach. So good coaches will say the quarterback is you had Polk High School with Al Bundy. The quarterback's responsibility is to make sure all the players know what they're supposed to do. You're the coach on the field. Kyler Murray failed. He failed. Just admit it. raise the white flag, throw in the sponge. It's over. All right.
I'll remember that the next time your show gets derailed because of somebody else on the show. So.
Yeah. Why am I going to spend 15 minutes preaching like you just did? I mean, my God. you are worse than a Jehovah's Witness.
Does that make you feel uncomfortable that someone's talking while you're in their presence?
Wow. All right, Tennessee 5-2 at Indianapolis 3-4. It's on CBS with Spiro Dedes and Jay Feely. Colts a 2.5-point favorite. Many people surprised by this. Tennessee, the hot team, the sexy team at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indy. And I am taking the Colts. Divisional revenge spot for Indy. Carson Wentz. I'm not sure if this is going to last. I have my doubts, but he has had a renaissance. He has had a renaissance in Indy this year. The Colts have a losing record, but he has been really good. Last 4 weeks, Carson Wentz is the third-ranked quarterback in the NFL. This guy was dead as a doornail in Philadelphia, and now he is the third-best quarterback the last 4 weeks. Ryan Tannehill is 23rd. In that time, the Colts have covered 4 straight games. Tennessee, this is another one of those mental picks where you're taking Colts in a revenge spot. Titans are also, they're flexing right now. They're smelling themselves. They have 2 outside division wins back-to-back against perceived AFC powers, Buffalo and Kansas City. It's back to the divisional grind now. No Julio Jones. He's not playing. Last time Julio Jones missed a game, I think, was against the Jets, and they lost Tennessee to the Jets. The formula here for the Colts, you try to just slow down Henry a little bit. Derrick Henry can't turn the ball over, generate turnovers, bam, win the game. Indy has average run defense. Average run defense here, but they have 16 takeaways. That is tied with Buffalo for the most in the NFL. So I will take the Colts to barely, by the skin on their chinny chin, get the win. They will be up to snuff. Colts 27, Titans 24, the final.
Penny's also going with Indy. Tennessee's 3-7 in their last 10 at Indianapolis.
All right. Next up, we have the LA Rams, 6-1, top quarterback in the NFC West, top quarterback in football against Houston, 1-5. It's on Fox with Chris Myers and Daryl Johnston on the call. Now, the Rams, they opened up a 14-point favorite. They are 14.5-point favorites. I am not going to lay that many points. I'm not. Rams should win this game by 40 points, and they probably will. But I'm not doing it. Not doing it. It's another one of these monopoly games for the Rams. They just show up on time, make sure the bus gets there, they get on the field, pass the goal line, collect a win. Fatten your stats. Matthew Stafford has been doing plenty of that. The leader in the clubhouse right now for the Most Valuable Player Award. He leads the NFL in QBR, the highest-rated passer on third down, as well as in the fourth quarter of one-score games. That's maybe Kyler Murray can learn from Matthew Stafford how to play in close one-score games and not turn the ball over like that. Now, this game scares me. The Rams, as a multi-touchdown favorite, Rams are 0-3 against the spread as a double-digit favorite since the start of last season. Houston, though, they have failed to cover their last 3 games as a double-digit doggy dog. And now I would have loved this bet if Tyrod Taylor was playing. He's not going to start the game. Davis Mills, who is code in football language for can't play. Did you see the stat? Here's a fun fact. The Texans, with Tyrod Taylor, the offense has scored 51 points in 6 quarters. With Davis Mills at quarterback, the Texans have scored 46 points in 22 quarters. But, hey, the public's betting on the Rams, and you get a home dog, plus 14. I need more of a performance like Houston gave back in the day to the Patriots. So I'll take the Rams 33 and the Texans 23.
Penny's also going with the Rams in this one.
Just Josh points out that I'm pretty sure Deshaun Watson has been wanting to ram it all day and ram it all night for a while. Well, I think the problem, just Josh, is he did ram it all day and he did ram it all night, and that's why he's in the trouble that he's in.
Dude. All right.
The late night drug tester says the Rams are like an unwanted Halloween candy, good in plenty of points this game. I don't know, that made make a lot of sense. You got Queen Roxanne. I mean, Queen, come on, you're embarrassing yourself. You're a proud woman, Queen Roxanne. What are you doing, sucking up to Gascon like that? It's embarrassing. You're humiliating yourself, and you're making all women look bad. Bad job by you. All right, next up, Cincinnati, 5-2. At the JETS suck 1-5. It's on CBS with Kevin Harlan and Trent Green on the call. The Bengals are a 10.5-point favorite. They opened up on the early line last spring as a 1-point underdog when the line originally came out, but now massive favorites in this game. You want to hear a fun fact, Gascon, on the Bengals?
Let me get it.
All right. Cincinnati, as a road favorite, they have not been favored by more than 9 points on the road since the final game of the 1982 season.
Wow. Man.
1982, Gascon. Unbelievable. Pardon my French, but that's horseshit. Football for, 30 years, I think we're at now? Almost 30 years? My goodness. But no, I'm going to take the Bengals here, and I don't like betting road favorites. I don't, and this is another one of those games I could have issues with because it is a sandwich game for Cincinnati. Yeah. Don't choke on the sandwich, right? They won a big game last week. Everyone's kissing their ass because they beat Baltimore. They have the Ohio Civil War game against Dick and Dayton's Browns. The Dickster will be watching or listening on the radio there. And so this, you look at the head, you're like, we got Cleveland next. That's a bigger game. Nobody gets up for the Jets. But I can't bet on the Jets. The Jets are starting Mike White at quarterback. They would have been better off if they started I'm a pilot at quarterback. They would have been better off than Mike White. From Western Kentucky. Now, maybe he'll have beginner's luck. Did you hear his quote this week when he was asked about starting for the Jets? One of the great moments of he said it sounded like he won a raffle. He said, I'm starting an NFL game. That's pretty freaking cool. Like he was shocked. He has been signed and released by the Jets 11 times over the last couple of years. He's also been dumped by the Dallas Cowboys. Now, is this going to be Kurt Warner 2.0? I'm going to go no on that. Maybe you have lightning in a bottle for a little while. And I am scared because the public is all betting on the Bengals, which anytime the public's all on one side, I try to avoid it. But I'll take the Bengals anyway. Bengals 41. And the Jets, 10. Joe Burrow.
Penny's also on Cincinnati as well.
All right. Who else do we have here in the chat? I got to give the people some love here. Let's see. Matt, the Warrior Raiders fan, says Queen Roxanne would love to move west of the 405 now that Regina has invaded her space. Wow.
Who's Regina?
Well, thanks for listening to the show, Gascon. You're a big fan. That's Spin Cycle Regina, a famous caller.
Is she live?
Very much alive. In fact, so much alive that Doc Mike drove all the way from Chicago to Minnesota to hang out at the pool, I think, the pool area there or something like that. I don't know what happened. I'm not sure what happened there. But Queen Roxanne says, no room for skanks in Colorado. Go ahead. Wow. Go to Montana with the others.
Wow.
Man, there are problems here between the ladies and the Maller militia. Calm down. What's going on with that, Gascon?
I've
got to mend the fences here. Can't we
cat
all
fight,
get along?
Cat fight.
Ah, man. Calm down there. Roscoe the Parrot says, Jets, biggest train wreck since the Jets. Bengals minus the points, easy money. Yeah. Matt also says the Raiders had a head coach named Mike White, started 8-2, missed the playoffs. Okay, moving on. A divisional game here. Misery loves company. Pittsburgh 4-3 at Cleveland. As you see their record right there. This game on CBS with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. The Browns, a 3.5-point favorite. And it is cloudy, 52 degrees at kickoff at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland. I am taking the Browns. taking the Browns here. Now, Baker Mayfield will play despite the shoulder injury that was announced earlier on Friday. How effective will he be? It doesn't really matter. Either way, I'm on Cleveland. This is more of a bet on the Brownies' defense than it is the Browns' offense. The Steelers will not get many points. See Ben Roethlisberger. Also, Nick Chubb, I believe, is back here, and the combination of him and D'Ernest Johnson, who looked like Jim Brown against your former favorite team, the Broncos, before you became a Cardinal fan, Gascon. And remember, the Steelers almost lost to Geno Smith at home.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, that's embarrassing. So Ben Roethlisberger, average complete air yards, 4.4 yards from the line of scrimmage, Gascon. Only Geno Smith and Jared Goff have been worse than Roethlisberger. So good luck. This should be easy for the Browns defense here. I know they're missing some guys, but the Browns also had a mini bye. Steelers are coming off the bye. Pittsburgh, though, 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games. Browns 24, Steelers 13.
Penny's going with Pittsburgh in this one.
Alf, the Alien Opiner, says, where's Montana Bear? Well, that's a great question. I hope she's still with us. I don't know. Montana Bear, one of our favorites. I remember the last call I took from Montana Bear a while ago before COVID. She like her back went out. It was not good. So I hope she's all right. I don't know what happened to Montana Bear. I'm pretty sure she's not on YouTube. Yeah. And, what else do we have here? It's page down. Can't read that. Boy, a lot of people reacting here to this Queen Roxanne blow up in the chat. People having a field day with that.
A little upset.
Next up. All right, San Francisco or Santa Clara, where they actually play, saying, what's popping? They're in Chicago to take on the Bears on Fox. Adam Amin and Greg Olson are saying, hot diggity. We get to watch this crap, and we get paid for it. Now, the 49ers opened a 3.5-point road favorite. They're favored by 4 right now. 55 degrees at Soldier Field, the house that Doc Mike urinated in. And I'm taking the Bears. I got the Bears. I don't like to pick, and I won't actually bet the game, but we pick every game against the spread. I like them more than the 49ers. Depending who you ask, the 49ers have either had a run of bad luck, Gascon, or they're just a poorly coached team with dumb players. Jimmy G back in Illinois, his native land there. Is he a future Bears quarterback? Inquiring minds would like to know. Certainly seems like he's on borrowed time there in the Bay Area. The last 3 weeks, Santa Clara has the NFL's third worst conversion rate, 16.7%. And if you look at the gambling numbers on this, they have been a terrible favorite under Kyle Shanahan. They've been favored 30 times in the Shanahan era. And holy cannoli, they are 8-20-2 as a favorite. Gascon, let me repeat that. 8-20-2. Favored, where the gambling community thinks you're the better team.
Yeah. And
you should win the game. Now, I cannot stand watching this Justin Fields guy. I know absolutely positively he has been terrible, and everyone's making excuses. It's very similar to Kyler Murray. Like you just did a 10-minute rant earlier, wasted valuable time. Yeah. We have a hard network out here, and you wasted time defending Kyler Murray. The Bears fans, I ripped this Justin Fields cat, and I got our listeners in Chicago. I got some guys that email me, well, it's not his fault. It's Matt Nagy's fault. It's the offensive line's fault. This guy's fault. That guy's fault. Blaming everybody else. No accountability. Justin Fields has looked like a country bumpkin. He has. Call it like it is. The guy needs a paper bag in the huddle. He's hyperventilating. Now, the Bears are not going to have Khalil Mack. I'm betting on Chicago. They're going to need some interceptions, some fumbles going their way. And now the one thing I will tell you, the Bears are not as bad as they played last week. They got smashed like a teenager taking a baseball bat to a pumpkin on Halloween night there by the Bucs. But the public is betting the 49ers a ton here, Gascon. That said, no team, as I want to point out, is as bad as their last game or as good as their last game. This is a much easier matchup. This will be an ugly game. It will be mission accomplished, though, by the time it ends. The Bears as a home dog. Bears 20, 49ers 16.
Penny's going with San Francisco in this one. The road team is 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games. So,
yeah, that probably goes back to like the 1990s or something.
Yeah, like I love how you compared Justin Fields to Kyler Murray. The guy that's like 3rd in the NFL in passing touchdowns, 17 of them in the year. Number 1 passer in the league right now, total yards. Yeah, I can see Kyler Murray, Justin Fields. That's, pretty good comparison, yeah.
Are you doing satire? Is this satire? I feel like you're doing satire. Is it satire? Is that what you're doing?
It's good. It's good.
It's good satire. I agree with you. It's good satire. You don't really believe this. Off the air.
You just said it.
I mean, my God. Unbelievable. All right. Anyway, moving on. Jacksonville. This is one of my picks of the week. Jacksonville 1-5 at Seattle 3-4. It's on CBS with Greg Gumbel and Adam Archuleta. The Seahawks, a 3.5-point favorite at Lumen Field. They changed the name of that a few times. Lumen Field in Seattle. They opened a 3-point favorite. 54 degrees at kickoff in the house JJ from Renton built there in Seattle. And here is my second 5-star pick. I gave you Atlanta earlier, and I'm giving you Jacksonville. Woo! You excited, Gascon? No.
A little surprised.
This is a bet against Geno Smith. It is almost required at this point. When you see Geno Smith as a favorite, you go the other way. And this is another bad spot for Seattle. They looked horrible on offense the last couple of weeks. Short week, lost the Monday night game to the New Orleans Saints. They also will be peeking ahead. Now, they have the bye week coming up in week 9, and then there are whispers in hushed tones that you betcha Russell Wilson will return to save the day like a Messiah from the heavens, manna from heaven to save the day. Now, Seattle has lost 3 consecutive games. First time since 2011. They have never lost 4 games in a row in the Pete Carroll era as coach. So this is going to be the first time that happens. Now, Jacksonville, you don't want to give them any credit because Urban likes getting lap dances from co-eds at bars in Ohio. But Jacksonville has been playing better. They're rested. They're coming off the bye week. They had the win, so they got a little confidence. They got a little taste of some success. They beat Miami in the game before. It was in London. And Trevor Lawrence, don't look now, but he's starting to play a little bit better here. The last 4 weeks, Trevor Lawrence has a higher passer rating than Kirk Cousins and Ryan Tannehill. And if he just plays like that, Jacksonville is going to be in position to win this game. Plus, there's a bunch of extra incentive for the Jags. You look for these kind of things because the NFL can be monotonous. It's all blocking and tackling and all that. You know, all the games end up being the same except those primetime games. This is not a primetime game, but Urban Meyer rated old Pete Carroll coaches and brought as many of them as he could. There's 11 former Seattle players and coaches, including Darrell Bevell and Brian Schottenheimer, a couple of throwaway offensive coordinators. Of course, Darrell Bevell famously called the play in the Super Bowl where they ended up throwing instead of running, and Russell Wilson was ahead of his time because Kyler Murray did a similar thing in the game last night. But these guys would love to destroy Pete Carroll, get some payback there in their old stomping grounds. I think they get it done. This is going to be an ugly game, low scoring. Geno Smith will F it up. Jacksonville, 19. Seattle, 16. As the music starts.
Pay's going with Jacksonville as well.
There you go. Oh, Frank from L.A. has checked in. He's the Laker apologist. Hey, Frank.
Oh, Jesus.
Frank, we've got updated news here, Frank. Russell Westbrook actually he went to get some pumpkin pie and he dropped it, so he just had another turnover. So I don't know if you want to look at that, Frank. I just want to point that out. Matt, the Warrior Radio fan, says you got your sound effects. Jacksonville 13, Seattle 12. So he says, who else do we have? This guy says, where's that sad trombone sound effect? Who is that guy? Emmer Ald? Is that the guy's name? I don't know who that is. Do you know who that is?
I do not.
Alf the Alien Opiner says, Gagon is a fan of the Babylon Bee. Yeah, you stopped doing that bit on the podcast, Gascon. What happened?
Till it gets canceled. I mean, everyone else is taking the bit, so I can't run with it.
People steal all the stuff that I do, but it doesn't. Doesn't matter. There's some big boob Instagram models doing Benny versus the penny. It's I think it's boobies versus the penny on that one though, right? Is that what that is? I don't know. Have to check that out. My goodness. Roscoe the Parrot says Geno Smith, biggest turnover machine since Jameis Winston. Jags +3, get the catch. See, me and Roscoe are in agreement for the birds. It's like bird, like a bird right there. Yeah. Got to shoot for the moon, guess guy. You got to do it.
At least hit the clouds, right?
That's right. I remember one time early in my career, I promised some listener won a game show, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to give you the moon or something, or the planet. I'm going to give you a globe or something like that." So she showed up at the radio station, like asking, like I was being facetious. Like there's certain people, Gascon, that don't get the sarcasm.
Was this at 690?
No, this was at 11:50 in LA. This is after 690, but I was doing talk radio on the weekends. Frank in LA says, "What's wrong with the Lakers?" Well, a lot of things are wrong with the Lakers, Frank. A lot of things are wrong with the Lakers. We'll start with Russell Westbrook. LeBron James. How great is it? This I know is a football podcast. But here's no. He said Lakers. He that's a mistype. I'm correcting his word. He meant Lakers. So LeBron James. Okay, so LeBron, the Lakers don't want to admit he's too old. He can't play all the games. He's doing load management. So instead, they're saying he's, in air quotes, he's got an injury. He's walking around wearing his jorts on the sidelines. He's not injured. He's not injured. And Russell Westbrook, oh man, you lose to Oklahoma City below. That's the worst Laker loss in 25 years.
No,
holy crap! Lakers haven't won anything since Kobe died. You understand that? They haven't won anything. Actually, since Kobe played, I should say. Crazy.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. The Clippers have never won anything. Not in San Diego, not in Los Angeles, not in NBA 2K, like not in your wet dreams. Like the Clippers have never won anything, period. They've never won a Western Conference title. Right. They've never won an NBA title. They've never won a Pacific Division title. Like what the hell's wrong with you, man?
You're smiling because you know you're being. So since the Clippers became a dominant supernova, that was in the Steve Ballmer era. The Lakers have no championships, and the Clippers have no championships. But the Clippers have gotten to the Final Four, so that's a Final Four berth for the Clippers. So that's the step. Then you win the championship after that.
This is like comparing World Series titles from the New York Yankees to the Tampa Bay Rays. Like this is what you're doing right now. It's embarrassing. Like it's embarrassing for your wife, your family, your offspring. Your legacy, your colleagues.
You're taking credit for like the Minneapolis Lakers. It's embarrassing.
Who said I'm taking credit for that?
Well, because I know what you're getting at. You say, well, the history. You're stretching reality, right?
If the Lakers had won just one title over the last 30, 40 years, it's still more than the Clippers have ever done in their entire franchise history.
The Clippers are, and this is why you don't like them.
This is embarrassing.
They're the people's team. They're the working
Clippers are the LA Chargers of the NBA. That's exactly what they are.
The Clippers are the affordable option, and you like the elites. You like the Hollywood elites. And you like to rip all these liberal people because you're conservative. But you're a fan of the Lakers, so you might as well. You're liberal on that.
It's the difference between driving a Lexus and driving like a VW Bug. Like you're the VW Bug, and the Lexus, the Mercedes, the Porsche. It's a huge difference.
Well, again, you're just you're wrong.
Are we really talking NBA here in the month of October?
Well, it's Frank's fault because he asked what's wrong with the Lakers, and you wrote it wrong on there. You put the Clippers on there because you're trying to shame me. Those in the
if there's
chat.
Anything that we want to talk about in the NBA, I would only want to talk about Enes Kanter. That's about it. But if we're not going to talk about him, talking about the NBA.
The greatest story, and I did a monologue, a rare and appropriate NBA monologue. I think it was last night. I don't even. Every day is the same. I don't even know what day it is. But James Harden, from the MVP, all Hall of Fame player, and now he is a baseline NBA player because they changed the rule. They took away his superpower, and everyone waiting with bated breath to see whether or not James Harden will be able to figure out another way. But it's pretty crazy, man. Pretty crazy. All right, we should continue with the games, yes?
Yes. Let's stop with the Clippers BS.
That's not BS. Well, again, again with the nonsense here.
It's a waste of time. I'd rather be talking about Jacksonville, Seattle.
Well, we just talked about that game.
I'd rather go back on loop on it.
Yeah, okay. You don't even know which game we're talking about. Bad job by you. All right, here we go. New England 3-4 at the Los Angeles Chargers 4-2. It's on CBS with Ian Eagle and Charles Davis. Now, I was planning on going to this game, and then I realized it was Halloween, and if I hand out candy, I can eat 1 or 2 for every piece of candy I hand out. I would not have been able to do that if I'd gone to this game, so I'm not going to this game. I know you're very upset by that. Chargers, a 5-point home favorite. I am taking the Patriots. I know that's going to disappoint Eddie Garcia there. He's going to put the whammy on the Patriots. Make sure you watch this game. My guys in Boston and L.A., see if Eddie gets on TV again. Last 2 Charger home games, Eddie has been on television. So we'll see if the streak continues. I am taking the Patriots. As I said, the Chargers are coming off the bye week. An emasculating loss prior to that to the Ravens. In theory, this would be the daily double for redemption. All right, you got blown out your last game. Last time the Chargers played the Patriots last season, Justin Herbert at quarterback. Pats won the game in the Cam Newton era, 45-0. In 21 career NFL games, Justin Herbert has 45 touchdowns with at least 1 touchdown in 20 games. The only team to hold Justin Herbert without a touchdown, the Patriots. Last season, it was a mortifying performance. He was spitting in the wind is what he was doing against the Patriots defense. Now, that means nothing. That's in the past. That's prologue. That means nothing now. The Charger defense, the real weak spot in the Chargers defense is the run defense. So I actually think New England has more of an advantage running the ball. The Chargers are 19th overall in total defense, 22nd in scoring defense. The last 3 weeks, they're 29th in that number. And I'm going to take Mac Jones and the Patsies here to get it done. They got to prove they can beat somebody other than the Jets and the Texans. They have 3 wins, 2 against the Jets, 1 against the Texans. And I'm betting on Belichick getting 1 or 2 turnovers from Justin Herbert, running the ball, Mac Jones not turning it over, Mac Daddy delivering it late. Patriots 33, Chargers 30.
Penny's going with the Bolts in this one. Going with the LA Chargers.
All right. Next up, who do we have here? Page down.
We got Washington and Denver.
Yeah, so I was actually looking in the chat there.
Oh. Zachary looks a little triggered.
This guy Gio compared me to Joe Biden. What's up with that? He said you're like
lost at sea.
He said you don't know what day it is. But it used to be a big thing to be compared to the president, but not anymore. Not anymore. Yeah. Really, I think those days are over. Whoever's the president, people are, we can't. You can't be like that person. All right, Washington at Denver, 2-5. Washington, Denver 3-4. It's on Fox. Brandon Gaudin and Marsh Flavors have the call. Broncos a 3-point favorite in this situation, and cloudy in the 40s at Empower Field at Mile High. And I am taking the Broncos. I'm going to take the home team in this game. Washington and Denver are standing pond water right now. Both are wallowing in the mire. Undesirable, unable to change their ways. Last 4 weeks, Teddy Bridgewater, 25th ranked quarterback in the NFL. Taylor Heineke is 30th. So this matchup, Gascon, you've got over here Verkakta, and over here second rate. So Verkakta versus second rate, advantage second rate. That would be the Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos over the Verkakta Washington team to be named later. What happened to their defense? They had a top 10 defense, top 5 defense last year with Chase Young, who is now armed and not dangerous. Embarrassing. Washington's, you know what Washington D's like? They're like Chick-fil-A. They don't work on Sunday. It's been terrible. It's been absolutely terrible. 210 points allowed this season, most in the NFL. 5th most points the team has allowed through the first 7 games in its 90 seasons in the NFL. Most of those, they were known as the Redskins. Denver 23, Washington 13. The final.
Penny's going with the Washington football team in this one.
Queen Roxanne says, no, Ben, you've cursed us. Queen Roxanne, that's an old take. Come on, Queen Roxanne. The curse was broken. The Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series. The Clippers got to the Final Four. The Rams got the best quarterback in football and the current leader for the MVP, Matthew Boom Stafford.
That reminds me, since you brought it up, that Chargers game that you're not attending.
Yeah.
I think I might have found my way to invite myself to your house for trick or treating.
Nah, I think I'm good. You know, the house is still a construction zone.
Listen, I got to get things ready for the Christmas party, so no better way than to trick or treat around your neck of the woods.
Matt says Fox is sending two announcers I've never heard of to call the Washington-Denver game. They should move this game to the Lifetime Network.
That's good. Oh, that's
good line. Good job by you. That's good job by you.
Like
Matt.
not even Amazon Prime, right? Like Lifetime.
No, they should make it like one of those Nickelodeon games and have like slime and things like that. Dress it up a little bit, man. Yeah,
that's good.
That's funny. Yeah. All right. Moving on here. This is a big game. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. It's on Fox with Joe Davis and Troy Aikman. Make your arrangements. How about Joe Davis, man? This guy moving on up. I mean, that's a big gig. Bucks doing the World Series. They slide Joe Davis in. You know those other broadcasters at Fox are jealous. They're like, what about me? I should be the guy. Yeah. Anyway, Joe Davis, the Dodger announcer, but they clearly love him there at Fox. Now, the Buccaneers, a 5-point favorite in this game. Tampa 6-1, New Orleans 4-2. I'm going to take the Saints here. I'm going to go against the public on this. Bruce Arians, he's not really worried about lightening the workload, I should say, of Tom Brady. The old geezer leads the NFL in pass attempts. And that is with the Buccaneers winning most of these games by a wide margin. Ain't that the truth, right? Very rarely are they in a close game. And at least recently here. And Tampa has completely abandoned the run. So much so that if you're the Saints defensively, you know what the Bucs are going to do. Doesn't mean you can stop it, but you know what they're going to do. New Orleans is also 10-2 as a home dog under Sean Payton since 2018. Now, obviously, that was mostly with Drew Brees. Check out Tampa, though, this season. 3 games on the road, and they are 0-3 against the spread on the road. So it is once in a blue moon that you get the Saints plus this many points. In fact, I got to find the stat here. I just saw it earlier. The New Orleans Saints, going back over time, they have not been a home underdog of at least 4 points since 2017. That was against the Patriots and Tom Brady. It's just the third time under Sean Payton that New Orleans has been this big a home dog, 4 or more points. I'm not betting on Jameis Winston, but he's been a game manager. He's been all right. He's not very good. He's a game manager. Divisional games are usually pretty close. Buccaneers 30, Saints 27. New Orleans wins the money.
Penny's going with Tampa Bay in this one.
All right. Moving on, Gascon. We are all about the clock for the clock. What happened to the clock? The clock disappeared. The clock is gone. All right.
You want me to return it? There it is.
Oh, there you go. Oh, boy, that's scary.
Like me sandbagging a couple games.
What's that?
I said I was sandbagging the clock so that way you weren't aware of it.
Oh, you wanted me to run out of time? I see what you did. Bad job by you. Gio says Ben probably hands out candy corn. No, in fact, later today, if you know where I live, I will be at the local Costco buying 7 pounds of candy to give out. Actually, mostly to eat, but I will be doing that today. Frank says, "What kind of candy does Ben pass out?" Yeah, blah blah blah. Good old Snickers and candy corn. No. He says the Lakers.
So I'm guessing. I'm guessing Snickers, $7 Nestle Crunch, M&Ms.
No, what you do is you buy the variety pack, whatever's in the variety pack. Now, my mom would always buy me the Butterfinger Baby Ruth because those are my favorite candies. Good. With the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup sliding in the top 3 as well.
Kit Kat?
But okay. The Snickers bar, those are mid-level candies. The Three Musketeers, mid-level candy. Give or take it. No big deal. Now, my wife, in marriage, and you're going to learn this, guys, going to get married someday. My wife introduced me to like gummy worms and she doesn't really like the chocolate. I'm more of the chocolate fan, but she likes more of the, that kind of candy, like the Sour Patch candy, that kind of crap.
Good with
so
that.
we combine. It's like the Brady Bunch of candy. We combine my love of chocolate with her love of the gummy worms and all that, and it's a wonderful life.
It's good.
No?
That's how marriage works, man.
I think, unless you get divorced, and then that's not. Oh, is that Neil in Miami? Look at that. I think that's our guy Neil, Butterfinger Ben.
Vaska Boynikov? Is that how you pronounce your last name, Neil? Vaska Boynikov? I think so.
He can't talk back to you, Gascon.
He can. He just texts something, yes or no. It's pretty easy to type for at least guys of his stature.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Now it's a full-blown candy conversation.
I'm excited. I get to visit the Mallard Mansion on Sunday.
That's a lie. All right, moving on. Dallas at Minnesota. I don't even know if you're going to make the cut on the invites to the ugly sweater party. You might not make the cut. Dallas 5-1 at Minnesota.
Because I'm not ugly, that's why.
It's on NBC with Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth. Minnesota, 2.5-point favorite now. The reason for this line, I'm going to take the Vikings in the game. The reason for the line move is because Dak Prescott's status is uncertain. He's dealing with a calf injury. And spoiler alert, Vegas is telling you, the Cowboys don't have to tell you, the odds makers are telling you that Dak's not going to play. He's going to miss this game. So this is a drastic line move. Dallas was a 2.5-point favorite, a 5-point line move based on Dak Prescott. And really, not really on Dak. It's more about how much Cooper Rush blows. He will be making his first NFL start. He's going to get ambushed by the Viking ship. Minnesota, good defense at home this year. They haven't allowed more than 17 points any of their home games. The wise guys tell you Dallas has been the luckiest team in the NFL with the turnover margin and all that. The luck ends here. A rare primetime win for not your cousin, my cousin, Kirk Cousins, which will upset Gascon's buddies in the media that hate Kirk Cousins because he didn't get the jab. Vikings 30 and the Cowboys 20. The final.
Petty's go with Minnesota in this one.
Well, Neil sucked up to you in Miami. He said you pronounced his name properly. How do you pronounce his name?
Vaska Boynikov.
Vaska Boynikov. Oh, that's because you do those little hockey games overseas, right? You pronounce all
the little hocky games. Yes. Little hockey games. Yeah.
Well, I think Neil's from the Ukraine.
Ukraine,
my family also. I
really?
Mallard. Well, yeah. It's weird because my wife signed up for those one DNA things, so they have all my information. But I don't care. I'm going to die someday. Who cares? So, my family. It was Russia at the time. Now it's obviously Ukraine. And I have a grandmother who was born in Chernobyl. So I don't think I can go back and visit where she was. I don't think that'll.
Maybe.
I don't think that'll fly. Yeah.
But,
all right.
But you have the majority of your family from the motherland, right?
Oh, yeah. From here. But I mean, you go far enough back, pretty much everybody, unless you're Native American, everyone's from somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Monday Night Football, the New York Giants. 2-5 at Kansas City. 3-4. Now, I do a weekly radio appearance on 610 Sports. Every Thursday, I go on the radio with Bob Fesco, my radio pal, in Kansas City. And I have been singing the praises of the Chiefs, and they have made me look like a total donkey all season long, losing record. Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, and Louis Riddick have the call on ESPN. The Chiefs, a 9.5-point favorite. And I am going to take Kansas City. I actually like the Chiefs a lot. Not one of my favorite picks. Not 5 stars. But Kansas City so far has been doing that dance routine. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. This is another chance to square up the bookkeeping against an inferior opponent. Yes, God, an inferior opponent. The Giants won last week because of Sam Darnold mistakes. Now, that certainly could happen here. Mahomes could throw the ball around and cough up some fur balls and all that. But if you have a race, Gascon, and you have a Lamborghini on one side and a Toyota Camry on the other, who are you going to bet on? Even if the Lamborghini's got some transmission issues, I'm betting on the Lamborghini, and that is Kansas City. Yeah. So I'll take the Chiefs 44, Giants 26, the final with 45 seconds to spare.
Penny is taking Kansas City as well. It's like taking someone west of the 405 in a Ferrari, Kansas City Chiefs, and someone east of the 405, the New York Jets, and someone like Ben Maller. It's exactly what it is.
It's actually the Giants, that game. That's the Giants. You're so quick to tell the joke. I like that Russian joke Frank told. Why do Soviet athletes run so fast? Because they're Russian, Hey,
Operation Odessa.
Parker, that's a great documentary, Operation Odessa. Watch it. A Rob Parker podcast. I'm gonna be covered up